The first thing I think of when I think about Monza is actually a rather personal thing. I was working for LaRousse at the time, and it was the first time I'd ever been to the track working as a Formula One guy, and I managed to persuade my wife that that was a good place to have our honeymoon. So my wife and I had our honeymoon in Monza, and a few months after that, my first daughter. First two tracks after the summer break, Spa, Monza, they're both tracks that have characteristics which perhaps don't bring out the best in our car. And we approached Spa with a little bit of trepidation, knowing that it's a track which has a very high dependency on power and also important for aerodynamics. We expected to have a hard weekend, but actually the car was quite respectable in Spa. And with both our drivers, we were capable of producing good results. The difference between Spa and Monza, there are some, but overall, the characteristics are such that broadly the competitiveness that we see in Spa should translate to Monza. So we hope again at Monza to have a respectable weekend before heading on to the remainder of the year, where we hope that the characteristics suit us a little bit better. So everybody knows Monza is the track with the fastest average lap speed of the calendar. It's dominated by a series of long straights and relatively small number of corners compared with the average F1 track. So it's extremely important to set the car up in a way that allows you to benefit from those long straights. So lower downforce levels, lower drag levels to get good top speeds on the straight. But having good top speeds on the straight also means that you have to be able to slow down for the corners. So setting the car up to be stable under braking is extremely important. And then retaining enough mechanical grip and aerodynamic grip to be able to wrestle your way around the corner before heading off on another one of the long straights. Monza is famously also the shortest Grand Prix of the calendar as a consequence of the fast average lap speeds. We go a fixed distance at every Grand Prix, so the faster you do that distance, the shorter the overall Grand Prix would become. But don't be fooled into thinking because it's short it's easy for the drivers, or because it has relatively few corners it's easy for the drivers. Every Grand Prix requires absolutely the maximum concentration from the drivers throughout, and managing cars with small wing settings through the challenging corners and chicanes at Monza is no easy thing. Leaving aside the ill fortune that Fernando suffered on the grid in Spa, for Ferrari as a whole, this was our best performance of the season, both drivers performing strongly in the race. Fernando produced his normal exemplary performance throughout the entire weekend, and Kimi in the race was strong, producing good results as well. We've been improving our car over the last several races, and that improvement is starting to tell with both of our drivers. And it's something that we hope, as the remainder of the season plays out, we'll be seeing again and again.
Of all the new elements introduced for 2014, the power unit certainly deserves a special mention, mainly because it's highly complex and also because we will use a lot less fuel than last year. The power unit is extremely modern and innovative, but Formula One is following or leading the road car world, where downsizing has become important, so making a smaller engine for the same performance. It's known as a hybrid because, as well as a combustion engine, there are systems that recover energy. The V6 engine is the main source of power, but there is also the air system, the energy recovery system. Also, the engine has a turbocharger and direct injection. The engine should and will develop significantly more than 600 horsepower. That makes it, with the air system, that will make it more powerful than last year's V8. The MGU-K is an evolved version of the CARES system of last year, which acts like a generator under braking and then can give power from the batteries to boost the performance of the car. The MGU-H is an innovative part of the power unit this year that recovers energy, wasted energy, from the turbocharger and charges the batteries, or can send it directly to the MGU-K. The turbocharger is now back in Formula One after a break of a quarter of a century. The turbine is connected to the MGU-H to generate and recoup energy, but also we can use it to help the turbocharger and eliminate turbo lag. The batteries are the preferred way of storing energy. The MGU-K can send energy to the batteries, 2 megajoules, but then we can use 4 megajoules from the batteries, and we use the MGU-H to top these batteries up. Over the course of the season, the driver is allowed 5 engines, that's 3 less than last year. The engine will rev to 15,000 RPM, and also the gears will be increased from 7 to 8. The air system, which recovers energy, will have a performance of over 160 horsepower for 33 seconds. So that's almost being able to be used for a third of a lap.